this is a case study of entrepreneurship, creativity, and then the update as well. This is called a Ronroco. Yeah. And this was made by Richter Pablos in Argentina. I was watching a movie, The Motorcycle Diaries. I don't know how many of you have watched that movie, but the whole music for that movie was made on this one instrument by Gustavo Santaolalla. So I heard that, I got inspired, so I started finding out where can I get a Ronroco. And there's quite a number of them on Amazon, which you can buy today. But then I started digging more and more and more to find out who makes the best Ronroco. And I found Pablos, living in the mountains in Argentina. If you see his website, it is a one-page website that doesn't have much information other than pictures and a Hotmail ID. So I wrote to him, I said, Pablos, can you make a Ronroco for me? And within a day or so, he replied back. He said, yeah, sure, I'll make you one. But it's going to cost you $1,000. I'm like, okay, what are the different models, blah, blah, blah. And he, we corresponded just over email. And he finally said, okay, I'll make you one, and here's the final cost with the cover and everything. I said, all right, so what do I do next? Oh yeah, you got to pay me. I'm like, I'm in Chicago, and this dude from Argentina is asking me to transfer $1,000 to his account. And he doesn't have a website. He doesn't have anything. So I took out, our contract that we provide to our clients, scrubbed it down, and I said, I'll pay you 10% here, then 20%, had different clauses in it, spent about 2 hours on it, and I sent it to him. I said, Pablos, no problem paying you, man, but here's what I would like to do. He sent me a reply, said, Abhi, why don't you pay me after I ship you the instrument? I'm like, what do you say to that? So, and I'm sorry, but I'm a little eccentric when it comes to things, and how do I say this? I think age does this to you in one way or the other. So I asked him, as you're doing this, I would love to see the pictures, right? So I wanted to get the pictures, but in my heart, I wanted to know if this guy's really making it, right? So he starts sending me pictures every week. So this instrument used to be made from a turtle shell. It used to. This is when, human race was more balanced. They waited till the turtle died, and then they took the shell and they said, hey, you know what can I do with it? And then they made the instrument. So, here's lesson number 1 to what Sanjeev said. You can make the coolest things, but don't kill something for it, right? As you try to make these beautiful things. So what did this guy do? He uses the locally grown tree, right? That's in abundance. And this is one piece of wood from which he makes this. And it still sounds, I'll show that to you. How, right? So that's lesson number 1. So he started sending me pictures. And I'm seeing these, right? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. He says, Abhi, your instrument is ready. And it's the last picture, it's not finished, but close to finishing, doesn't have the strings, nothing polished. I wish I could show the pictures, but I don't have the, I had them on the phone, I think. I'll show it to you. But the point being, I was so excited. I'm like, it's been so good. This guy's been so professional. Here's your $1,000. I transferred it. And then he sends me an email saying, your instrument is going to be shipped today, but it's called, I think, Buenos Aires. That's the Argentinian FedEx or postal service. They will update this tracking number in their system after 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks, right? Are you sure? He says, yeah, don't worry about it. And he had written that. I never saw that 2 weeks. So here is lesson number 2. We hear, we read, we see things that we want to see. And I'll tell you how this comes about. I started checking the tracking number day 2. And it says invalid. Day 3, invalid. People at work got concerned. They're like, Abhi, you need to be on a conference call. I'm like, hold on, let me check this. They're like, okay. I kept checking it. 5th day, I was so paranoid. I emailed him. I said, Pablos, this is saying invalid, man. And it was, I wouldn't say a nasty email, but it was still, pretty rude. And he said, Abhi, please look at my email. It takes 10 days for Buenos Aires, the Argentinian folks, to update. And I'm like, I'm screwed. So I wait and wait and wait, right? By the way, there's no reviews. So there's no such thing as Richter Pablos review, nothing, right? So I'm waiting. On the 10th day, at 12 a.m., because I'm checking, 12:01, boom, it says at the docking whatever in Argentina, I forget what's the name. I don't know, I'm bad at names of the city, but long story short, it was in the transit at the customs at the other end. I keep tracking that. It's landed in Miami, it's going to come. I'm waiting at the door when the postman is coming, because this is coming through US Postal. It's not even FedEx. So I'm really paranoid about an instrument coming through US Postal. And the postman comes, I'm like, dude, I have a package. He's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, what do you mean you know? Well, Abhi, I'm concerned because me and a few friends of mine at the post office thought, why has this guy ordered an empty thermocol box from Argentina? I'm like, what do you mean? He gave me the box. He's like, check that out. And I held it. This is heavy now. So I'm expecting this and the cover, right? And it felt like there was nothing in it. I was so frustrated. I'm like, after all this time, bakra ban gaya, right? And that means, he took me for a ride. So I said, you know what? Let me get the camera out. Dude, I have to record this. I'm going to put this all over the internet. And open the box, in front of me. He tears it up. And this is what came about. Right? Lesson number 3. If you make something, make it the best in the world. And if you do that, you don't need no ad. You don't need nothing. People will come to you. You could be in the mountain, they'll find you. And you can charge whatever you want because they'll appreciate the talent, the effort that goes into it. So that's what I learned from Richter. And that's what I learned from Sanjeev. For a man to come here for 15 years or more and do this, there's a passion required. And if you can, only with that, can you make something that will impact the world. And I'm no good at this, but I'm better than Achy Breaky Heart, I promise you that. So let me play and show you what this sounds like. Just a little bit. Can you hear it? That's it. Some more?